April, and this will be for Aquarius. So I'm just going to be doing sort of a general read just to get an idea of what the energy is that you're dealing with, and then we'll kind of go into all the clarifiers. So starting out, I have pulled some oracle cards here, which are just on the side, and I'll just flash them here. You've got recognition, you've got journaling, stay true to yourself. We've got inspiration. Sorry, I missed one. Success, which is definitely one that you don't want to miss. And then inspiration, like I said, was our final card out. I have pulled some other cards along the side here with their clarifiers, and I'll go through those here as well. But the main energies out seem to be a lot of happiness. So whatever you were dealing with, it does look as though there is something here that kind of speaks to you getting past something for sure, but you're trying to rebalance things. So you're walking away from some kind of an issue. There is still a level of healing involved here, but you've got wish fulfillment this month, and definitely some kind of a new start. And it could even be in around a job for some of you. So because it's a general, I'm going to hit it from the perspective of, career and finances, as well as, possibly sort of relationship aspects. So we're going to include career, finance, some element of relationships, and then I don't know if I've missed anything else. But either way, let's just kind of get right into it. Okay, so this is going to be the main energy out here. So again, your big major arcana is the Temperance as well as the Sun card. So that does indicate that you are sort of balancing things out. There is some optimistic theme that's coming in here. Oh, you did actually start out with, initially it's the Eight of Swords. So I'm going to kind of backtrack here a little bit. There is a major shift going on for you though. So starting out with the Eight of Swords, and again, this is that energy around Eight of Swords. This is the grouping, the Wheel of Fortune. We also had the Five of Wands. We've got the Five of Pentacles, and we've got the Three of Wands, and then the Temperance. So this does tell me that you have been dealing with something that you might even been in a bit of a self-sabotaging kind of mode. And I say that because this card really speaks to mental traps, especially when it's connected to the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Wands. So that's where there is a mental that's required and able to kind of go forward here. So now there is something that also speaks to like an old energy that was kind of testing your resilience here. So again, it does feel like it was in around financial pressures. It does speak to some kind of a conflict and some level of isolation. And then, of course, Temperance laid out there at the very end with the Three of Wands. That's something about you waiting and healing, but you're still holding faith, like you're still holding true to the journey that things will be okay. Now, I do want, and they will, certainly with the other cards that came out here. So we started out with you being in a little bit of a self-sabotaging pattern here, but of course this does turn around with the Wheel of Fortune. This is a pretty significant with the Wheel of Fortune. So April, I feel, is where it's your pivot point. That's where things start to really show that you're on purpose again. Like your finances, things are going to start to improve. You're making some kind of a mental shift here. Like I said, the Wands is where there's kind of a, your energy's been sort of hit, and your finances are sort of showing up here as well. The Three of Wands, and hi, TTWW. Okay. Anyway, then we're getting into, I'm not sure if that means you quit your job or what's happened there, but either way, I'm seeing positive cards coming out for April, and it does look like there, for those of you that have lost a job, it does feel like there is one that's coming through here. Might not be exactly in the, but you're hearing about it at least for sure in April, because it does show that that ace comes up here and there's wish fulfillment. So there's a lot going on here. Now, I would say, again, it's like you're being led. For some of you, this is towards some kind of, you being on purpose. There's recognition. There's something here around something successfully kind of turning out here. Like I said, the Three of Wands also means you've progressed to a certain point. Things are starting to again, and you could be launching something here, because the Queen of Wands was also showing up a little further out. But we'll get to those ones here, as we go along. Maybe I will sort of pull it out just as a, to give you a little bit more. So again, we've got the sun, so you're feeling a lot more optimistic in the month of April. So again, you're stepping into more creative power. There's more visibility. This is launching something, being noticed at work. It's like you're finally putting your talents out there in some way. And this again is a sense of leadership, because it does show up as the Queen of Wands. This is Aries Sagittarius also represented, could be relevant here, but it feels like you're more favored in whatever it is that you're doing, however you're performing with something. Now, I want to say that the other cards out with the sevens kind of speak to something here with, you're still facing some kind of resistance or opposition, competition, things like that, but you're still standing out despite that. I would say that you're building something authentic, but it's like it can't be rushed. Now, we also had some of the other cards here with share your art with the world. So it feels like, again, there's that recognition, that repeating pattern of success. It's literally you being on a mission and you're being told to go public, don't play small. There's something here, like I said, it's a project, a pitch, or a role, or something here that comes in probably late April. But it's like you're getting more recognition into May as well, because this is more promotion. This is more creative success or new business or growth, something along that line that's more likely. And again, still had the cards of Ace of Wands showing up here. So, and we've got the Star, and we've got Cups. Sorry guys for the noise. I always do these things sort of off the cuff when I feel like it. But the Nine of Cups does indicate wish fulfillment. And again, Ace of Pentacles, you've got something that's coming in. And again, this is a financial offer. This is a gift. This is a payout, something that you're wishing for, wanting. And again, there was that energy of the King of Cups that's here, as well as the Seven of Wands. So that also tells me that there's someone that is supportive here with you. And it might be someone that's helping you financially. Or that somebody who's quite emotionally mature that's around you that's managing the money. Whether this is you or another person, this can be a water sign that's showing up here as well. But it feels like with that Eight of Cups energy here that was previously up with the Star card, and that was the main card out, that's really telling me that you're leaving behind that unstable or that draining sort of money pattern. There's more optimistic projection coming through here. So again, I'm seeing new income stream coming in here. Some kind of payout as well for others. But either way, it just feels like it's a really positive approval, grant, settlement, anywhere, however you want to look at it. But the opportunity still feels like it's falling between April 17th through to the 30th, something like that. So in terms of finances and payoff, I'm seeing this as a really good theme. So I want to go through, and again, I'm doing this as a general. So again, there's some other things here that I want to cover. So we're going to kind of take it back to the Eight of Swords again here, because I want to go through this in a different angle here as well. So when we get back to the Eight of Swords here, this does indicate a stuck cycle. This is self-imposed limitation. This is doubt, as I mentioned. So again, it did with the Wheel of Fortune underneath here. So that was really the next card out. And that one's talking about a big shift. So this is where things are starting to spin out of control, or it felt like it, because of all the conflicts that were around you with that Five of Wands and that Five of Swords. Sorry, don't want to lose my moon energy. So again, there's a lot here going on as far as you having to sort of deal with something, feeling unsupported, left out, all of that, whatever that energy is. But the feelings here, again, is that you were waiting for something to arrive. We had the Three of Wands. So waiting for something to arrive. And again, it feels like with all that conflict around you and feeling alone, it just felt like it feels like now you're getting that breakthrough moment. So again, there's something coming through that's going to help to balance things along. There is a level of patience that's required with the Temperance. And again, maybe you have been waiting for that, as well as with the Three. That's a patience card, being, told that, it feels like the road's been a little bit long for the wait here that you've had to sort of battle. And again, this can be faith versus fear, fire versus fatigue, hope versus hardship, all sort of come into play. But as I said, you are moving towards the Sun card. And of course, the Sun card is the optic. Leo is also in here, if that makes any sense for some of you here. But again, this is where the light breaks through, this recognition. Things, were once murky is now starting to, emerge as more you stepping back into feeling a lot more in control of your destiny. And I say that because it was the Queen of Wands. So again, that's still the energy here coming out as expressive. You showing up as more of a leader, taking control of your life again. You're starting to have more visionary ideas. Things are starting to go through in a more positive way. And as I said, we did have the Seven of Wands that was out here as well. Sorry, I'm just looking for my follow-up card. So the Seven of Wands and King of Cups here does also indicate that there are still some challenges, but you still have the upper hand now going forward in April. There's a level of emotional support, emotional maturity. There's a level of peace that's also showing up here this month. So again, you're walking away from some of the difficulty now in lieu of more of a heal path, more peace in your life. And again, you know, it just feels like everything starting to right itself. Now, I do want to say, sorry, I just drew up one of my cards there, but I did technically go through. Oh, no, there it is. Sorry, guys. So again, you know, despite that initial energy, it, like I said, I'm probably don't even need to go through that even anymore, but the star card does tell me that, you know, this is you coming into your own reading as well with an Aquarius energy as the stars. I just feel like overall, this is you walking away from things that drained your energy. So, you know, there's a lot more emotional support showing up here. It's like you're growing that sense of your own emotional maturity and peace. And again, it's almost like that's what is allowing you to walk away because you've come to a certain space now that sort of aligns everything. You know your path. The star is, you know, returning to yourself, basically. Now, I want to say, the Nine of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles, really good cards, especially when they're coupled here together. It still speaks to, you know, a tangible offer or an opportunity that you are about to get here. And I would say that, you know, a creative goal is manifesting. This is where there's a payout. This is where, you know, a project launch or some kind of dream is coming alive, something that you've wanted, but either way, wish granted, Nine of Cups. So I do feel like, and as I said, we had share your art with the world. So for some of you, it speaks to you on that level. It's visibility. It's you having a breakthrough. And again, there was the card of staying true to yourself here as well. So again, I still feel like that follows up with success. And then we had the card of inspiration. And I'm going to go to the journaling here with the share your art with the world. And the last one out was recognition. So I'm going to go through those now too. So again, this is confirming your visibility breakthrough with something creative for some of you. And for others, this is, you know, you've been processing growth, something internally, and now it's like you're ready to express it and get it more outward. So that's why the recognition and the success, you know, it's a reinforcement that you're stepping into, you know, yourself or a spotlight, not the ego. This is about where truth resonates. Something is coming forward and makes more sense for you. So again, in summary, in April, Aquarius, I feel that you're leaving behind mental, you know, scarcity, inner conflicts, feeling trapped, that kind of thing. But the lesson was really about patience and perseverance and inner strength. And so now you're stepping into more of a visible, emotionally clear space. And it's really a chance for you to create something solid around your creative gifts or leadership or your sense of purpose. I want to say, like I said, time frame, the shift begins around early to mid-April with big developments likely showing up in that third week, 17th to the 22nd. We did have the Ace of Pentacles coming in here as well, which speaks to concrete opportunity landing by the end of April or very early May. And again, the astrological signs that we were dealing with is Leo. This is sun. This is confidence. This is recognition. Sagittarius, you know, temperance card. And again, I don't read all of them, just the ones that kind of stand out or repeat. So I feel like temperance is you following more of a higher purpose. That's Sagittarius. There was some Pisces or water sign Cancer with the King of Cups. So that's emotional depth or support that might be coming in from that grouping. And again, Aquarius, you're in your own read here. So this is you being back on track with yourself. So I feel like this is reflecting your own inner healing, a return to own authenticity. And again, there was a little bit of a presence of Capricorn, Taurus with the Ace of Pentacles here. But I would say that's less of the energy for me, and but it might be relevant. Sorry. I think I put that one away. So there was our Ace of Pentacles. So again, that one is really kind of speaking to, you know, money materializing in some way. So Oh, I mean, just absolutely looks like a very good picture here for you. So, like I said, you're working through this mental entrapment, financial pressure, conflict, and isolation. But it feels like this is your pivot point in April. So, again, you're back on track. It's like you're finding some kind of sense of purpose in the world again. And I just feel like overall, this is a really good month for you. You're sort of regaining a sense of yourself and some kind of leadership, but it still indicates there is a healing phase here. So again, could be healing from past love or family wounds in terms of relationships, because again, I didn't really go through that all that much, but I will touch on it a little bit here. But again, with the King of Cups. So again, with the King of Cups here, as well as that Eight of Cups. Sorry, one more second. Yeah, so the King of Cups and the Eight of Cups, it does feel like there is some kind of emotional wounding there, or moving away from shallowness and controlling or draining energy. I would say that this is a purity now in an emotional way. So there is also something here again that came up with the Star, and I want to say, sorry guys. The sun, like I said, as well, kind of speaks to a healing energy as well with that star. So that combination there is also in around that range of healing from, love or family wounds, or possibly dealing with a younger person, a child. And it just feels like a soul connection could possibly resurface, some kind of reunion, or even healing that relationship that you thought was maybe ended or gone, especially too because the Nine of Cups showed up there. It does feel like if they did come forward, it's more of a grounded new start. It's surfacing not with well, I shouldn't say that. It's like it's a combination of both of those things. So really, I'm going to say the Nine of Cups is emotional fulfillment. So for single, you may be attracting someone new that feels emotionally deep and safe with you. For couples, you're kind of getting into a healing phase, building a deeper trust and intimacy. But either way, I would say that the relationships seem to be realigning mid-April with more emotional clarity and connection. So it's like things end of April into May are really starting to look good. So in career and finances, I feel like you rise to some sense of visibility. Your confidence is also rising. And then again, in finances, there's a wish granted, possibly from a new stream offer or job. In relationships, it's an emotional healing that leads to either a new connection or a revival of a more meaningful one. But either way, the time frame, like I said, April 8th to 15th, it just feels like you're clearing up those emotional blocks. 16th to 22nd, something like that might be the big shift, where you can expect news about an opportunity where things get clear. And then the 23rd to the 30th, money, success, emotional breakthrough, something like that. But like I said, there's a lot going on in your read, but it sure looks like it's pretty aligned in the month of April. So that's what I have for you. And again, even journaling your process helps you to stay clear, and that helps you to stay more authentic and stay true to your voice. So, just in reflecting back to the Oracle cards, I feel like share the things that you love. So always loud. Sometimes it's just being aligned with your soul. That's what I have for you. Keep moving forward, guys, and never give up.